not so sure how well this stream is working. But we'll assume that it's fine. And continue on to number 17. YouTube, baby. What can you do, tube? Number 17. When I was 15, my 13-year-old best friend shot himself in the head. I was the first person to find him. I still have nightmares about it, and I'm 30 years old now. Damn. A lot of these are unfairly short and sweet. And if by sweet we mean traumatizing. The person edits to say, thanks for all the condolences. I've never really talked about it, so it's been kind of therapeutic to respond with this. It's crazy. So many people get therapy for the stupid amount of bullshit they're going through in their lives. But people can have people die in their arms. People can have, friends shoot themselves. All kinds of stuff happen right in front of them. And they have to get right back on that horse. You know what I mean? Figuratively, of course. Right back on that horse. A hello to True Silver Wolf, Linda, Rollways, PB&J, Toxic, and Otaku, who's hoping you're all having a fantastic day as we explore the cautionary tales that will be the entries on this list. Do you see what I did there? You'll be traumatized before long. Just you wait. Number 16 on this list. I used to work in journalism. 2 bad car wrecks come to mind. One was a head-on collision on the highway involving a van with 8 people in it. They were trapped in the van when the van caught fire and all of them burned to death. I was there to see the bodies being removed. I didn't see much, but the smell. The second was a motorcycle crash. The motorcyclist took a sharp turn at 50 miles per hour and ended up impaled on a chain link fence. Some people were really playing with fire with this high-speed driving on a motorcycle-ish. All you have to do is not push it to the limit. You know what I mean? Even when you are aware of your surroundings, people are gonna make mistakes. And some people don't stand a chance against other people's mistakes, even when they are protected by their own car. So imagine what it's like. Someone exposed to the world on their 2 little wheels. How cute. I wonder why YouTube gives me such stress, such trauma. Can't even start a stream without it losing its mind. I guess these are the types of things I'm going to have to deal with. Fuck me. Continuing up this list, we arrive at number 15. I saw someone's leg degloved. Can we not? The whole list? It was fucked. I was walking to school and someone bailed on their motorbike without proper protection. They bailed onto the road, and this is the same road I was walking to school on. Again, guys, I follow a subreddit that is that's called Meet Crayon. Unfortunately, it deals heavily with people who ride on bikes, and maybe they're on a motorcycle, maybe they're on a skateboard. Sometimes they're even in a car, and maybe they're not wearing a seatbelt, and they are forcefully ejected at extreme velocity. The name of the subreddit comes from what happens when their body makes contact with the pavement at that high velocity. They become the meat crayon. Now, it's crazy to think about the amount of force it might take for something to strip flesh from the bone. But if you've ever cooked, you don't even have to have cooked, honestly. The better analogy would be if you've ever had a piece of chicken. I'd love some fried chicken. Need to get me some $30 from my paycheck when it comes. And just throw that at KFC, get a bucket of chicken, and just imagine you taking your fingers and just shearing the chicken right off of the bone. Imagine, well, maybe you don't want to imagine. Number 14. When my ex-girlfriend, long distance, cut her own neck on a video call with me watching with a razor blade. Some of these chicks are crazy. Was it to assert dominance? Was it to put you in her hand like putty via manipulation? Somebody gave this the award with the little seal. What are we even doing here? I'm not usually paying attention to the award types, but this is just amusing. Like, it makes them feel good, like cuddly inside. Oh, she did that? Oh, gotta give that this reward. Ridiculous. There was nothing that I could do but watch and beg her to stop. She was loving it. She wanted you to see. She had a bad case of schizophrenia. So it was really bad. It was really bad, was it? It was really bad. It was really bad? It was really bad. Yeah. Girls know what they're doing.
You don't want to do what I tell you to do? You don't love me? Is this what you want? Is this what you want me to do?
Let a dude try some shit like that on a girl. Show me those titties, bitch. Is this what you want? Is this what you want? She'd be laughing.
You better take that shit somewhere else, boy.
It was really bad. Okay. Hydro says, my brother rides a motorcycle. This worries me. You're welcome. I bet you're scared that I did your voice so, like, accurately. Okay? I hope it's not too traumatizing. As we continue up to number 13 on this list. Not nearly as gruesome as some of these. You don't have to say that at the beginning of your intro. You can just get right into it. You know? As opposed to putting a billboard at the beginning that says, hey, this one sucks compared to the other ones. It's not as good as the other ones. Why are you doing that to yourself? When does the cringe stop? You know? When will people learn? This person says they watched their best friend get taken by brain cancer. Over the course of 15 months, he lost 100 pounds and turned into a yellowed husk of the healthy 23-year-old that he was before. It was a grueling process. Who would describe this as less gruesome than the things we're reading? Yeah, people die. Yeah, people get degloved. But some people might even prefer a quick death or a mangling or a loss of a limb. Some sort of mutilation to the slow demise of knowing that you will wither away, not over the course of years like a typical mortal does, but over the course of months, becoming this phantom, this ghost, this shadow of a creature compared to who you were before. Of course it's worse. There's nothing worse than being cringe, but just being flat out wrong. How could you ever consider this, it's better. It's not as gruesome. Sir, I challenge the rest of this list, as we continue up it, if we can find something worse than someone whittling away via something as terrifying as brain cancer, turning into a literal zombie of their former self. Not saying people don't live, lives that are long and prosperous. I'm saying comparing yourself. That's the sadness here. Some of these people might as well be a superhero compared to the version of themselves that they become. They might as well be the Flash, might as well be Superman, compared to the husk, to the skeletal ghoul that they become, my dude. So, there you go. He has to edit his post because other people would chime in to say, I've actually lost someone to cancer. And I'd love if they were alive in whatever state they could be, because they'd still be there. As opposed to just, there you go, my dude. There you go. Here comes Toxic with his cringe comment of the day. Will you ever read a murder diary? I'm not sure what you think that is. But rest assured, there are privated and deleted videos on this very channel that I've read from actual serial killers that YouTube will not allow me to have on the platform. So, I don't know what you're expecting. You're expecting made-up, fake-ass stories that you can find on any corny YouTube on this channel. Or YouTube channel on this platform. Ew. I'm not sure what you're here for, but I'll remind you what you are watching. And it's deeply disturbing and traumatizing experiences. Big titties. Number 12. When I was sitting on the bus after the end of school, one of my friends from class got off of his bike to pick up a book, and he got hit by a passing car. Most all of us on the bus saw it. The kid landed in the back of the truck, and I saw it as clear as day. He basically did a cartwheel in the air and landed in the bed of the truck as the driver stopped. We ran off the bus towards the truck, and I hate that I looked. But he was laying there dead, and his eyes were open, and blood was dripping from his mouth, and both of his legs were basically broken and twisted sideways in one direction. It was absolutely scarring. I've never forgotten exactly what this all looked like. The kid was my age, only 13. Very sad day. So I've been on deck when people die. And I don't want you to think it's like a tasteful scenario. People definitely grab their phones, take them out, get some pictures. And the crazy thing is, you can't even view that as like extreme or crazy, you know? The paramedics do that shit all the time. You guys would know if you had paramedic friends what the real world is like, because they'll share some pretty gnarly pictures with you. If you're close enough, that is. It's crazy that people slip in and out every day. It's crazy people are so careful about whom they share their naked bodies with when, bro, y'all are so close to the grave that you have no idea. Thanks for liking the video, all 4 of you, even though there's like 40 of you in here. Thank God for the patrons and the sponsors, because if not for them, I'd have to wonder, what the fuck am I even doing on this platform, you know what I mean? It really makes you wonder. But hey, maybe we haven't reached anything that anybody likes yet. Maybe I'll continue to the end of this list. Number 11. My first trip to Mexico, I saw a guy walking on the side of the road during a storm, was struck by lightning. My grandpa put him in the bed of a truck to take him to the hospital, but the dude pretty much fell dead instantly. I remember I kept looking back and saw and smelled the charred flesh. I was only 4 years old. 24 years later, that image still haunts me to this day. Why did I put that not liking thing in my head? I don't really care about likes. Likes and this channel probably gets too much visibility and I get in trouble. But honestly, I've been dipping into this Marvel Avengers shit too often. So that's getting the channel unfortunate attention already. But it's just made me so cranky. Crankier than I've already been. Crankier than I was last night when I didn't stream. Maybe I disappear for a while. It's not about the likes. There's just things going on that are getting up my ass. And it seems like everything that happens is just making it worse. It would definitely have been nice if I could have gotten that PlayStation 5. But God forbid sites with the money to establish an infrastructure for their website so that bots and scalpers can't seize any and everything as soon as they become available be apparent. That's not a thing that's gonna happen and I'm gonna have to fucking deal with it. Broke Dia's toothbrush this morning because she needed a new bit for the top of it so that, you know, it was fresh, it was new. And when I changed it, I tried turning it on just to make sure everything was fine. But it had no juice. So I tried popping open the bottom to charge it because that's how my electric toothbrush works. But it's not how Dia's works. A sponsor. How did you know that button existed? I'm pretty sure even Scrotumus Maximus is shocked. He hasn't just been a sponsor, he's been a sponsor for decades, boy. You think people just get that bleach icon? That's probably like a 6-month, if not a year thing. How has he done it? Thank you, Bach. I appreciate you bringing me, Bach, to reality. That's the kind of shit that people who have seen people die say. You know what I mean? Give it up. The Bach put it on lock. As we continue up this list to number 10, I got lost. I was telling an electric toothbrush breaking story. Jesus hell. You know, I hear a neighbor screaming for help. So I go outside, you know, see what the hell my neighbor's doing this time. She's hysterically screaming. And I'm running over to see what's happening. This lady's nonsensical and leads me to the basement, all the while making this fucking wailing, wheezing, screeching sound. Her son lay blue-faced on the ground. Paramedics arrive shortly after and tries to resuscitate him because his feet were warm to the touch, and it would have been fairly recent that he had killed himself. The boy did not make it. The neighbor had found her son in the basement, hanging from the recently deceased family's dog leash. Oh no. She tried to lift him in a futile attempt, as if it was going to pull himself up or start breathing again. After she tried to do this and realized that she needed to cut him down, she grabbed a knife, cut him down, and as she cut him down, she couldn't brace his dead weight, and he smashed his head on the way down, and she was very concerned by this. It wasn't the young man's face or circumstances of the death. It was the noise that the woman made going down the stairs. I still hear that sometimes. I've tried to describe it to you before. You'll know the sound when you hear it if you haven't heard it already. The shriek, the wail, the blood-curdling scream that a person makes when they are in distress doesn't necessarily need to be a dead body. It is a noise that a person will produce when something is entirely wrong. And I've heard these things, but I've been in war scenarios effectively. You know what I mean? I hear the noises that people make knowing that they'll probably be their last. I know the noises that people make when they see people that they've known, people that they've loved lose their life and wonder if they're next. Some of these noises protrude from a person in a primal capacity, in a way that they can't defy, in a way that they can't restrain. These noises come from a place inside of them that they can't reproduce if they had a gun to their head, literally. It comes from a place of madness. It comes from a place that most people couldn't tap into without drugs. And if you hear these noises, it'll awaken a part of you as well. If you've heard me talk about it before, I said that if you know of Peter Parker and his spidey sense, you would get the tingle. You would have a portion of you wake up when you hear that out of another person. You'll know. You won't have to think twice. And you got a big decision. It's whether to run away or towards the source of that noise. Number 9. I saw a jogger get hit by a car when I was driving with my aunt. She pulled over and ran to help and called 911, and she came back to the car covered in blood. I was like 7 years old. Damn. Just trying to stay fit. Just living your life. Maybe you had a bad day. Maybe you can't find a PlayStation 5. Maybe you're just sick of all the bullshit and you want to just go for a jog. Little did you know, it'd be the last thing you did. Because some asshole's gonna hit you with their vehicle. And that'll be the end of it. And the world has to keep turning. Notify the next of kin. Brothers, kids, parents. Let them know that the person that they knew, they're dead. Never had the chance to say goodbye. Never recorded a little video or made a little letter, will, nothing. Because none of us are in love with the idea that we're definitely not going to exist potentially soon. So nobody makes arrangements. Some people swear they're so mortal that you could have close loved ones die right now, and not like a quick death like, oh my god, car accident, my grandma's dead. Personal story, forgive me. Not like, oh shit, my uncle, dead. Personal story, forgive me. Out of nowhere. But you could actually be at a person's bedside for months and watch them not get better and then die, and you still won't record a video for people in the freak accident, in the potential scenario where you pass, because it could happen. You're still not making a will. Maybe you're like me, you really don't have much to give away. What, somebody want this PS4 and this PC? Shit, that's all I have to my name effectively. You want some Baby Yoda fucking puppets? You know what I'm talking about? But still, man, prepare. Write on a piece of paper and get that shit notarized. Even if all you have to say is, hey man, don't waste money on a ceremony for me. Don't waste money on a casket. I get that it's for like the peace of mind and making other people feel better. But if you want to be burned, you want to be cremated and just thrown somewhere, write that shit down. Write that shit down. You may not feel like you have much to say. Looking around TikTok, it's pretty clear that a lot of people don't have anything to say. And that's why they need to teach each other how to shake their ass like a black girl, because that's how you want to be and that's how you want to live. You know what I mean? No disrespect, no racism here. I'm a black man. It's just I'm tired of living in this world where it seems like everybody can't stand my flavor of people, but it's so clear that y'all want to be my flavor of people. My God, it's sick. And I'm sick of watching it. But I guess these days everybody is equally cringe in the way that they just can't fucking shut the hell up and stop injecting nonsense into everything that, you know, I'm sure myself included, bro. But hey, this is a list of trauma, and I'm traumatized by that. So there it is. Scrotumus Maximus says, I remember at my first job, one of my supervisors showed me a photo of a girl. Her head was chopped off while wearing a smile and sunglasses. Damn. She wore that smile. Bach says the real traumatizing experience is camping for the PlayStation 5 on the Walmart website. I have a video. Of me literally reloading at 3 p.m. It not working, you know. It's telling me I need to verify my identity, even though, you know what I mean? I'm over it. Verify your identity, bro. Verify you're not a robot, bro. Okay, it's in your cart, but are you a robot? Can you pick out the fucking fire hydrants in this really slow test? Within the same minute, the PlayStation 5s are gone. Let's not talk about it. You know, I've been through some really gnarly shit, and the fact that that really wound me up as hard as it did the other day, it really pisses me off. But you know what? Everyone's to fucking blame. Because how you gonna have something like this that you know people want, and then have it not be available? Because it's really putting me off in a capacity where it's like, maybe I don't even need to fucking worry about it right now. You know what I'm talking about? Jesus, need to find some nice titties, let them just jiggle, and let that be the end of it. Julie KS says, when I was about 8 years old, my neighbor fell off his roof, and my mom, who is a doctor, ran to help. Was the person okay, Julie KS? Find out on the next comment of Kyle Stream Z. Do 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 do. Rusty Shackelford says, Kyle, I want to be taxidermied. Nah. You don't even have a good pose for it. You don't have a good pose. You have a pose in mind that would like lose its appeal. You don't have a good pose. Julie says the person's alright, so I guess that's good. Number 8, boy. I saw the smeared remains of a guy who tried to cross a busy highway and was obliterated by an 18-wheeler. Guys, if I could take you to Dead or Vegetable right now, I would, but YouTube is way too funny about the stuff that's on there, even though the people are alright. So I guess YouTube doesn't want it so that anybody comes to any kind of physical harm, even though there are so many YouTube channels getting away with it. I guess until I get big enough to just be able to break the rules and get away with it like some sort of politician. You know? Coronavirus enters my body. Flintstones vitamins I ate 20 years ago. We can't even talk about the C word on YouTube. I want you to know what a boring dystopia you live in. This is the future we're living in, where we can't talk about a virus that's killing everybody. It's not just like, oh, we're gonna demonetize your channel. Some of us don't give a fuck about that because you've threatened us with it for so long. Why are we gonna be fearful? You know, if you whip out something to give us some lashes or to beat us with, the first couple of times it's gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. But bitch, when you've been putting up with it for years, we've built a tolerance now. You can't scare us with demonetization. because we expect it. But when you're whitelisting a channel and making it so that it's basically invisible, even when people can search for it with very specific terms and with the channel name itself, and you're knocking it into like the third or fourth fucking, yeah, some people jump on this platform and talk mad shit, but if you don't like what they're saying, knock them off your platform, my dude. Why you gonna make it so that they can put in your name and then the topic and they get like 3 pages of bullshit before they reach you? That's weird. That's weird. But that's YouTube for daring to mention a virus that is killing us. It's killing us. It's killing us. So what? We should be quiet? That's fucking... And I'm talking about it now because it's a traumatizing list and this traumatizes me. This is disturbing to me. It's killing us and we can't talk about it. That's straight out of Korea, my nigga. That is straight out of Korea. Fuck YouTube for that. For silencing people for mentioning the virus. And that's something that every content creator is going to sweep under the rug. You know why? Because they worried about their fucking money, my dude. Oh, this video's brought to you by our sponsor. I better be careful with what I say because I'll get demonetized. Fuck that. Not Kyle. I'm just a guy with a channel and I'm a real guy, my dude, and I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this. This is the scariest timeline that we're living in, my dude. Y'all let Ajit Pai bitch ass jump up and call some shots. That shit ain't right. And I get it. There's this episode of Family Guy. Let's talk about it. There's an episode of Family Guy, and it seems like the dumbest show in the world because it is. Seth MacFarlane's a racist, but he made himself a dumb little show with a dumb little baby and a dog, and it used to work. But then he made the baby gay, and he made the dog just like, I don't know, what is he, a liberal? He's just he's a douche. Brian's a douche now. Brian used to be really relatable, if you can remember, if you believe that. If you're old enough to remember early Family Guy, Brian used to be relatable. Here's the reason I want to talk about Family Guy, and it's irrelevant as. There's an episode where Peter shoots Cleveland's son, Cleveland Jr., when Cleveland Jr. is trying to get into the house. It's dark. They frame it in a way where he couldn't see what was going on, so it looked like it was a burglar. So Peter shoots Cleveland. Classic, have a white guy shoot a black guy type. Oh, it's going to be regarded as like a race thing. South Park has done it before. But in this episode, it's fantastic because they end up going to trial for what is a race-motivated crime. And in the court, they basically just spin it so that it looks like, Cleveland Jr. is a thug. They hold up what Chris Brown has done to Rihanna as if that's relevant to this case. They just spin it so that, people like Cleveland Jr. are a thug, so he deserved to be shot effectively. You know what I mean? Just whip that narrative up. Now, hey, when a police officer, regardless of his race, decides that a person that is prone, on the ground, in cuffs, is somebody that they gonna kneel on the back of the neck for like a bunch of minutes, maybe it's fucked up. Maybe that police officer should serve a little bit of I don't know. He should be hit with some serious consequences for that. But that's not how the system works. So yeah, you throw some white on that cop, you throw some black on that person who lost their life. God rest their soul, Floyd. And yeah, you're gonna have some problems. So of course people gonna be out there protesting. And it's fucked up that it's gonna turn to riots because otherwise nobody's gonna give a shit. I'm not saying that I condone it, but I definitely understand it. But the crazy part is, it wouldn't have needed to turn to riots. There wouldn't have needed to be plainclothes officers out there stirring up bullshit and pretending that it was them being violent the whole time. Because even if they were non-violent, the narrative spin would be, look at all these other people who have done these violent things in the past. They are the same color, so surely they are inherently violent. That's the world we live in. So, I wake up in the morning, and just like most other people, I try to put a lot of this shit out of my mind, because how can you make it if you're thinking of not just what's going on around you, but the things that you've personally dealt with in the past? You can't make it. You gotta really just shoulder some of this bullshit. And the worst part is, I don't have like drugs, I don't have marijuana, or like, I'm not drinking to take the edge off and shit like that. I would love for that. I'm living in the wrong state for that, I suppose. But some people got drugs to just take the edge off, whether they're prescription or otherwise. But man, some of this kind of what I would call just blunt trauma is better than knowing that what you're living in the midst of is only barely hanging by like a thread away from just disaster, away from catastrophe. And I get Republicans wanting to hold on to what little amount of money they have because, how dare anybody insinuate that they should have to give it to somebody else or have higher taxes. But y'all voting to keep a racist, a little man, a really small man, out there in the streets protesting with, oh, please. Oh, it's fraud because he says it's fraud. It's just classic. True Silverwolf says, I don't think about Walmart after this BS. Yeah, we going back to the PlayStation 5 and the checkout. I'm over it. Yeah. I'm supposed to have notifications on for other websites, but I don't get shit. And I didn't get shit for Walmart, as if it would have mattered if I didn't have that website up at the time. Please. Jared says, the best pose is sitting on the couch. No, man. I think a good pose would be a standing pose. Maybe with your hands in your pockets. Maybe like a leaning pose, like you're up against something and they can just put you against multiple walls. The best pose for a person that is taxidermied is the type of inconspicuous, just standing there pose that like maybe a person could come into a room and not recognize immediately that there's a person posed there, and then kind of like out of the corner of their eye or like as they're focusing on something they realize, is that the figure of a man? Is that the figure of the man is the best reveal? Imagine you're in your room and you're under your blankets and your eyes are closed and you open them up and you can't really see too well, but you know how like even when you're in your room and it's dark, you're feeling like certain things are a figure, but it's just your eyes playing tricks on you because it's too dark. You want to have that appeal as a taxidermied human when you are dead. But just take it from somebody who's thought about it more than you have. I'm sorry that, you're just thinking kind of like waka waka funny prop, I'm a dead man taxidermied. Nah, bro. Go for maximum creep. Go for maximum creep. And then when people are properly creeped out about it, to to really ramp up, have the other person be like, oh, that's just Ted. You know what I'm talking about? That's just Ted. Was that his real name? Nah, we just call him Ted, though. Scrotus says, it is sad none of the cops will go to prison. World we living in, bro. It's the world we live in. Chappelle had the smartest shit to say about it, and it was about all the black cops that went crazy and started killing people, because when they get on the inside and they see how bad the system is on the inside and how racist all of these cops are and how they're allowed to be, and it's not just the cops, it's like the sheriffs and the whole precinct and it's everybody. And they really cannot stand these dark people. And, I've read to you some kind of leaked, documents. I've had you listen to the types of things that certain cops say. And they refer to a lot of what they call the blacks as like, oh, he's one of the good ones and shit like that, And trust me, I know some government men. I know some men in uniform that are of the black, persuasion that are effectively racist against themselves. Is crazy. Just like some Jews hate themselves, you see these black people that hate themselves, and it is just sad. It's just sad. Because you can hate what people do, but to hate yourself or to hate a race, boy, you got problems. You got some real problems. Jared says, oh yeah, they solved the episode by having Cleveland shooting, saying that he shot his own son. yeah, that was kind of it was amusing because it's real, it's true. And what to kind of just better explain better articulate what Jared is saying for people who haven't seen that episode of Family Guy, at the end of it, Peter ends up like winning that court case or whatever, because they do portray Cleveland Brown as a thug. So everybody's like, oh, this is just a thug, and the whole thing is like thrown out. But at the end, when the media is like pestering Cleveland and Cleveland Brown, Peter comes over and says, I was just a fool, I'm a piece of shit, I apologize, this was something I should have been whatever about. And then, because Cleveland sees that Peter is genuinely apologetic and sorry, he comes forward and says, it was me. Cleveland Brown says it was me that shot my son, even though that wasn't what happened. But because it's a black on black crime, suddenly everybody just jumps up and leaves because the media is not interested. And that was amusing. Sal, it is what it is. Flesh says a T-pose would be a better pose for a dead person that wants to be stuffed. Can you imagine? Do you know anybody that would really be so morbid as to have a stuffed person around? Do you know anybody like that? Like in real life? Let's be real. Do you guys know anybody like that? Or have they been arranged in a position where you can waltz with them? Maybe they're kind of light, so you can just kind of lift them up and dance around. Ridiculous. As we continue up this list, oh my God, a toddler getting hit by a car. The little girl took off across the yard, headed towards the street, and the mom was too far away to catch her before she ran in front of the car in front of us. My dad slammed on the brakes as soon as he saw her running and was screaming, "No, no, 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 no." But the car in front of us did not see her. My dad pulled into the driveway across the street from the house and told us not to look out the back window. We could hear the horrific screams from the mom, and the driver was absolutely hysterical. We had to stay there until the police arrived. It was just constant screaming, and it is never talked about unless one of us have a nightmare about it. I seemed to block it out for years until I became a parent myself, when it started becoming a recurring nightmare for the entire pregnancy. Yeah, that's how it goes. You have to wonder if there are enough big titties in the world to just, I want to say, move some of these terrifying thoughts out of people's heads. These aren't just, your average nightmares or your random thoughts or your call of the void on the occasion. These are real events that happen to you personally, so when they come back hard. It's funny because there's so many things that you do on a daily basis that if you stop to think about them, you could barely even remember how they happened, what you did, where you were. But some things like this occur, and it's like your brain clicks a box and it's like, bro, you should remember this. Remember this. Yeah. But you are like, no, I don't want to remember this. But your brain's like, nope, I've made the decision for you. Nope. I'm gonna go into this folder with all these nice titties that you trying to save. Remember that time? Nope. Dead kid. Okay. Kid get hit by a car. I'm gonna log that right in here. I'm gonna copy this. Kid get hit, parentheses 1, just in case something happens. I'm gonna go put that in another folder, in case something happened to this whole folder. You're welcome, said the brain. And I'm like, damn, you didn't need to do that. Just in case you find a way to delete it. And your brain's like, oh, you didn't check the recycling bin. Scrotus Maximus says, have a good one, about to start work. Yeah, just trying to catch some of you for this, stream that's earlier than what I would normally do. True Sweet 808 says, OMG, I caught a live stream with a unicorn. With a unicorn. Well, that's what you get. You know, you get a little bit of a stream. Going up to number 6, I watched my stepdad try to kill himself by hanging himself off of the fire escape at our apartment. He told me to tell your mom I said goodnight, and he jumped. Well, I'm glad that he couldn't do it. I wonder if he was trying to snap his neck by jumping into it, you know what I mean? Jesus. That's truly unfortunate, and I'm sorry that some people gotta deal with them kind of memories, but it is what it is. I could tell you some horror stories from my own life. You know, I've seen people try to kill themselves, and I've tried to reverse it, and I ended up paying for it dearly. Should've just let them die, man. Sounds crazy, I know, but when you've been through what I've been through, holy shit. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Oh, damn. You know how hard I had to try not to put a Marvel's Avengers fucking icon for this whole video? Because that would be tacky. The game gets it, it sucks. It gets that to the tune of $50 million loss, okay? So let their little game just burn out. I don't need to fan those flames to keep the fire burning any longer. It's on sale on PC for $30. I'm surprised it stayed $60 for this long, honestly, you know? I need to get something to drink. Only money will save me. Hold on. That'll wet the whistle enough for the rest of the stream. Flat ass soda in this bottle I had next to the fucking bed. Gross. When am I gonna get some sandwiches and some chili cheese fries? That's what needs to happen in my day. That's what needs to happen in my day. Number 5. I walked in on the nurses getting my dad ready to go down to the morgue when I was 17 years old. I wanted to just spend a few more minutes with him, but instead I saw my naked dead dad getting all of his tubes yanked out. It's been over 20 years, and I can see the macabre humor in it, but still. Yanking the tubes out of your dead father, I'm not sure there's a lot of humor to be had in that. That's your father, dude. Oh. For anybody quietly listening to this that may have a trauma that you are self-aware or, you know, not feeling like sharing with a bunch of strangers online, I guess. I'm sorry, and I hope that you have the strength to endure. I know shit can get tricky sometimes. Continuing up, we arrive at number 4. Let's knock this list out of the park. I pulled my 4 days dead brother out of the closet that he hung himself in. The way his eyes and tongue were bulging out of his head and the green-purple color of his skin still haunts my dreams to this day. My greatest failure was not realizing that my little brother was hurting so bad. Some people don't share that burden. You can't realize something that they hide so well. I still hate myself for it. I know it's not my fault. I just miss my little brother. 4 days he died, and his body would just bloat and fester. Gross, man. Jesus Christ. What a way to have your family find you, my dude. At least die in a way where they're gonna find you quick. This is not Kyle condoning the act of taking your own life, but my God, you're a real monster if you haven't thought about how you're gonna be discovered. I guess that's real pain for some people, is not caring what comes next, is just finding a way to end the pain. But by establishing pain for other people, to me, it's no different. To me, it's no different when you don't have the compassion or consideration enough to consider how other people are gonna fucking find you, than diving in front of a fucking truck or a train that you know might derail or might run into another person. And it's not even about their safety, even if they're completely fine. You're traumatizing that person. You're scarring that person for life. They gotta put they have to make a list now of people that they have inadvertently taken out because you flung yourself into their path. What a sick bastard. And I know people going through some pain, but imagine you're fucking driving down the street and somebody throws themselves into your vehicle and they die. First of all, as a black man, you know how much fucking trouble I'm gonna get in with this bullshit? Ain't nobody gonna believe my fucking story. They gonna think I was being belligerent and driving all over the place, and it's time for you to get a drug test now. Imagine you smoked a little bit of weed fucking a week ago. And now somebody fling they fucking body into your goddamn car. And here come the police. Time to get a drug test. Oh, there's a little bit of weed in your system. You definitely did this. The only way you're going to be absolved of that crime is if there's fucking cameras around. And even if there are, I'm sure a jury of racist pricks might just believe that you fucking did this. You had malice in your heart. You're a hostile person. I've seen what fucking Chris Brown did to Rihanna, so you would do this to other people. People are rioting. I don't care how peaceful your protest was. They were rioting somewhere, so surely you have it inside your heart as well. Just ruin some lives, bro. Just ruin some lives. So how, I'm gonna be real enough to say, when some people do this kind of shit, I think to myself, the empty space would have been more appreciated than some of these ass wipes. We all got fucking burdens. We all got pain we're dealing with. Does that, belittle yours or dismiss your pain? No, it's not a competition. But think about people, my dude. How can you be so disgusting? How can you be so cruel as to not consider other people? You know what I'm talking about? It ain't a slippery slope. It's just like, listen, nigga, I fucking don't want to live anymore. Do you think I would ever be so insane as to kill myself in a way that my mother could fucking find? What's to stop her from whipping a knife right out on the spot and ending her own life? Do you get what I'm saying? And fuck my relatives. Other people are like that too. The trauma of what would happen could make them want to take their own life on the spot. And not just the trauma. Like I said, imagine you've had a drink that day. Imagine you've had some drugs that week, that month. And now you know that all the paperwork and the bullshit and the tests that are coming are going to fuck you because of this cunt. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me to say that the empty space is preferable, for me to effectively go, fuck them, when they take their own life, it's because, think about it. If I were going to take my own life, just a hypothetical, I get to talk. This is my freedom of speech that I'm flexing right now, YouTube. You can't take this video down because I'm talking about shit that's too real. This isn't an unboxing or a makeup tutorial. Maybe I should be getting really, really fat by eating mad food on my channel every fucking day, because at least that's something you can put some advertisement on, right? Fuck you, YouTube. Can't talk about the coronavirus that's out here killing me. Here's what I'm trying to say. If I were going to take my own life, right? Maybe I'd convince my mom that I was going on a trip, that I was going to go find myself, that I was going on some kind of long journey, and that I just wanted to be alone. Maybe I'd get into a huge fight. so that she would think that I just don't want to talk to her, and then I would go somewhere where no one could find me, that none of this would ever get back to anybody. And there's so many places that are easy like that. You can go to Mexico. You can go to Mexico. No disrespect, he is Mexican, but you can go to Mexico, my nigga. Get robbed and killed somewhere where they're not going to find your body. Boom. Go take some pills. Go into the woods. You got to jump in front of a fucking car. You got to jump in front of a fucking train. You got to hang yourself and leave your body for your fucking family to find. What kind of inconsiderate bullshit is that, homie? And I hope that it's the realest thing that you've heard today, because people need to fucking think. Yes, you're in pain. Maybe you don't care, my dude, but the world got to go on without you. And I know that they don't often care in that moment. But if I was the person that felt so much pain and felt like, you know, this is something that I was going to go do, I would feel like I deserved to feel that way. If I could possess the capacity to abandon any kind of consideration for other people around me, just because I've been through something, does that mean other people should go through it too? You don't care because the pain's so bad, but what if the pain consumes other people? What if it rolls over them like a tidal wave as well? You don't care about that? I know bitches who've been fucking raped and had their own parents and had their own fucking siblings tell them it's not that big a deal and they need to get over it. Had fucking police officers go, well, I don't believe you. I think you're doing this for attention. Because other bitches do the same thing. They do it for attention. They out here trying to get attention. But what? They should just, you know, come on. You don't get to be so selfish, because that's the world we're living in right now. And I know it sounds boomer for me to say, my dude, but when you see people going, I'm not gonna wear a mask, bro, this ain't about them. It's about the potential for other people to get into a terrifying scenario because of this condition. Some people are lucky enough to contract this thing that YouTube doesn't even want us to talk about and fucking live. But what about your grandparents if you're living with them? What about some younger kids that may not have the fucking immune system to fight that shit off? In the same way that, you're going, oh, my freedom is being endangered. I don't like being told what to do. These are the same niggas that would talk on their phone loudly in a theater? These are the same people that would what? Cut in a line at a grocery store, at a theme park? Nigga, listen. Some rules are in place because that's just the way that the world works. You got that much of a problem that you just can't act right, my dude? Why are people tolerating that shit? Why ain't people allowed to give somebody, break a motherfucker off a little piece of the business? If you're on that bullshit, you're endangering people's lives. You out here barking at people who just trying to work, bro, because you don't want to wear a mask and you're so old and lonely and boring and sad. You have nothing going on, and you know that this is your best chance at getting people to pay attention to you, that you're out there trying to provoke a fucking, scene. Because someone, of course, is going to go, bitch, put on your fucking mask or leave. Listen. If the world for one fucking second could think about other people, it will be a better place. It will be a better place. I know people right now who want to end it and have wanted to end it forever, but the one thing keeping them tethered are the other people in their lives. Bless them. Bless you listening. Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching to the choir because y'all already know what it is. But that's what traumatizes me, boy, is the terror of going out and sharing space with these people. Number 2, or is it 3? It's 3. My stepmom murdered my father in front of me on Christmas. She pulled out a .22 and pulled the trigger on the back of this dude's head. I miss him every day, and it's been 19 years this December. Now, with this little information, we have to wonder, was this just a cold bitch? Was she being abused? Was she cheated on? You have a number of questions. But the first reaction And maybe you watch these and, you know, what you enjoy is seeing if my reaction is yours, because that's what it's like. We're kind of like friends, and we're just, you know, going through some of these crazy ass stories and seeing if we're thinking the same way. My initial thought is, bitch, you lucky your stepmom didn't then murder your ass. Because if you're there and your eyes are there, bro, shit, she could just turn and be like, guess what? Guess what? So this boy survived, and the real question is why? So we're going to go into the edit and see if we get a little more information. The person says, thanks to everybody for the support initially. It happened a while ago, and here's the story. It's December 21st, 2001. I was 5 years old, and I had just had a very vivid nightmare about a toy attacking me on Christmas. I woke up crying, went to go lay down with my dad, as a small child does. My dad was sleeping in the living room. Him and my stepmom had been arguing, and now he had to stay in the living room. I walked into the living room, and by the light of the Christmas tree, I saw her, gun in hand, standing over my dad's sleeping body, shoot the gun. Jesus Christ. Let me tell you something. I don't get as many people rolling in here because I'm not extending myself to talk to a lot of kids like I used to back in the day. You know, just letting anybody come in here and be all caps and on that cringe and being fucking lame and, you know, titty-tastic and bullshit like that. But when I did get a lot of people coming in here, they would constantly be on the I'm so lonely and I want friends and I need more people to talk to and bullshit like this. And it's like, dude, you need to find the right friends. You need to find the right people to talk to, because if you just extend yourself for anybody, you can end up with anybody, my dude. What the fuck drove her to do this? I need to know. It's an argument? You just crazy like that, bitch? Without noticing me, she puts the gun down, opens the front door, and goes into the front room to call the police with some bullshit story about a break-in. I'm shocked in one place. I can't stop staring at my dad, who obviously no longer looked like my dad. She saw me, grabbed the gun, grabbed me and my sibling from the other room, and carried us to the back room of the house. She placed us in the Marshall bed and placed one finger in her lips and went shh as she placed the gun under the foot of the bed, and then she ran out to greet the police who had just arrived. She claimed first it was a thief that broke in, but when pressed further, she claimed the gun accidentally went off when she went to confront my dad about their marriage problems. This bitch really couldn't keep the story together. She really needed to stick to that thief story if she was going to get anywhere. Because as soon as that gun was produced, or they found that gun, maybe they wouldn't find the gun. If it's a white bitch, they probably take her at her word. You know, they supposed to suspect the partner, but they only hardcore suspect when it's the nigga. If this bitch showed up dead, they would sweep that fucking house and find that weapon. But because the dude is dead and the bitch is the one who shot him, they gonna take her at her word. You know? But the comedy is that she couldn't even keep her story straight. She then said that the gun accidentally went off when they were talking about marriage problems. I have issues with that statement, as on that night she planned for her own children to be in the house, or to not be in the house. Only me and my siblings, who were my dad's kids. I don't understand why she stopped there. When you can murder a person, what are kids? They're just more people. She saw this kid, was probably of the belief that the kid saw what happened, carried the kid back to the room and told him to shush as she hid the gun in front of the kid. Are you for real? She was incredibly mean and rude to us constantly, and she would be incredibly hurtful when my dad wasn't around. My dad was not abusive. He was an amazing father, medically retired from the military, cried when his grandma died on 9/11. Can I read this anymore? My dad was a very hardworking man that loved us so much. He did everything that he could every day to make us happy. I only have wonderful memories of him. As I remember it, she premeditated the murder, and when I wrote her in prison 15 years later for some closure, she didn't write back. She only wrote back that she didn't care for me or my siblings and never did, only for her children who don't even know she exists now. Listen, what stopped her from killing these kids? They weren't her kids. She had no feelings for these kids. If she believed that one of these kids saw her kill the father, why did she stop? She couldn't even keep it together when pressed by the fucking police. They got the truth out of her. Oh, the gun accidentally went off. My asshole. I remember the police coming and putting blankets over our heads to get us out of the house without having to re-witness the scene. I was shocked into silence and didn't talk for a while. Vivid memory of my stepmom purposefully shooting my dad in the head while he slept. Why did she spare these kids? My question goes unanswered. This man is comfortable with his feelings. His grandmother died on 9/11. He was a caring, compassionate man, a military man, medically retired. So maybe he getting disability. That's bills being paid, son. What's the problem? Why y'all fighting? This bitch crazy. It would have came out. It would have came out if he was fucking around on her. Because if she couldn't keep murder behind her whore lips, she wouldn't have been able to stop about, oh, he was cheating on me, so I killed. You know what I mean? People like this walk among us. Y'all gotta be real careful who you end up with. Maui, what? I don't understand. Kyle may be a monster and a pig of a man, because I'll tell you right now, I love some fat ass titties. You know what I mean? But I'm not sure I could ever see myself with a woman who has a bunch of kids. It's just not who I am, I think. You know, you did that already. I don't know. And there was kids from his and kids from hers, so maybe, you know, we come together and form a Brady little bunch, but you shooting a nigga in the back of the head when he's sleeping? What argument could you have that's that intense? Be careful who you messing with, man. Number 2, true trauma right there. I'm a funeral director, and I've got 2 cases that I think about a lot. The first was a Russian man who shot himself. He went into the yard in a poncho, sat on a chair, and shot himself in the heart. Excuse me. My body had a reaction to that one. Russians always do open caskets, so he was preserving his face, but he didn't realize I needed an intact heart to embalm. But that's not what sticks with me. When we unwrapped him, he had a big fat smile plastered on his face. It was like staring into the void, and the void smiling calmly back at you. He was completely at ease with his decision. The second is who I affectionately refer to as the Riverman. He had been there for 2 weeks. The smell was indescribable. He was falling apart. Blue, green, and black. You can't convince yourself that everything's fine. There's this innate biological response to working with decay like that. All day my body was in fight or flight mode. Holy shit, man. You really need to sit down. You can't do that. You can't do that for extended periods of time. That's why they give the fucking military drugs. They give you drugs to deal with this shit. You're just a fucking, funeral director and you're dealing with this kind of shit. You can't operate at maximum capacity like this without your body giving in. You could fuck yourself up and shave like multiple months off your life expectancy on this bullshit. His wife insisted on viewing him. Oh God. We cautioned her. We showed her photos. We asked the medical examiner to caution her, but she could not be dissuaded. She spent 15 fucking minutes in a tiny room alone with him. You ever wonder, about the fact that some people, let's say it like this. The comedy of this is that when you send somebody that knew somebody in to see the dead corpse of a person that they used to know, people refer to that as making peace. But, and this may not be something you think about a lot, but you know that some people kill themselves when they're left alone with the dead body. It's fucked. And I don't mean to impart those kinds of thoughts on you, but there it is. That shit happens. It's almost as traumatizing as not liking this video. But it's okay. I'll be with you in your dreams. And some of you may be thinking, oh, that's what I want. I want to be in the shower and thinking of you, Daddy. I want to be in bed and be thinking of you, Kyle. But maybe when you need me the most, I'll be gone. As we continue to the final entry on this list. Number 1. Watched a shotgun suicide in the 2nd grade. Guy had a domestic dispute with his wife, and the cops had him blocked in front of our house. Keep in mind, this was in the late 80s, before tasers and shit. Anyway, the dude jumps out of his car and hit himself in the chest with a claw hammer, thinking that would do the trick. When he realized that it wouldn't, he reached into the backseat, grabbed a shotgun, stuck it in his mouth, and suddenly, his head was gone. Nightmares, even until this day. Pretty fucked up, man. I think shotgun shit is really fucked up. Either you've seen that shit or you haven't, man, and it's like, holy shit. Recently, I saw some guys try to rob a armored truck driving down, some kind of street. But this was the wrong country to try to, do this, man. You can get away with this in certain places, but it's all about the planning that goes into it. The Kyle channel does not condone the act of theft or, premeditating a situation to make it a more intelligent plan of action than what I'm about to describe. But these boys did it in broad daylight. It was pathetic, The truck was pretty much already driving away because it seemed like the truck perhaps had more than one person associated with it, attending the truck. So when they rolled up on the person that was taking some things out of the back and had the doors open, the truck almost starts to drive away. So one of the guys jumps on the back of the truck and starts like throwing, bags back onto the ground. Again, third world country. So then it cuts to helicopter footage of the vehicle that they're using as a getaway vehicle. But then you see a man in the helicopter come into frame, and he's got an assault rifle. Ooh no. Ooh Lord. Like a true video game, my dude. Like some true Grand Theft Auto shit. You see this dude hanging out the side of this helicopter, shooting, just raining bullets down on this freaking car. Car comes to a complete stop, my dude. It was a truck. Truck came to a complete stop. And when you get down and see the truck, it is riddled. It is riddled with bullets. I'm going to try to look this up in a way where I'm not showing you the giggledy wiggledy, you know? I'm just going to try to show you the vehicle itself. But, I mean, shredded. Shredded. So I could show you a couple of frames here. You know what I mean? Here's them trying to, in the beginning, truck's driving off. They're like he's throwing bags out, I can't show you all of this, so give me a second. Here's some of the footage in the helicopter, Holy crap. Holy bing bong. Alright, let me get to some of the, I just want to show you the exterior of the car, because it is nuts. Yeah, that's all I'm going to be able to show y'all. That's all I'm going to be able to show y'all. So let me see this. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. The people on the inside are Swiss cheese. Boy, who is spamming the chat? Condense your messages, boy. Who is this? Look at Alex. Look at this. Look at this. Is this the Alex chat? What the fuck? Would you believe there's 47 people in here and they're looking at you peeing in the pool going, I'm not going in that. This boy clearly want to talk to himself, baby. The Kyle channel does not have a problem with you, verbally articulating your thoughts as it pertains to what I'm going through. But hey, don't do this. I have a thought. You know how you can type that? I have a thought. Did you know that? Did you know that you could do that? We gotta deal with it. Even if I try to retract the message, it still is just, look at all of this. I'm gonna go back up into multiple people talking territory. Yeah. LeBradley. Scrotumus. Scrotumaximus. Scrotus Maximus. Man, I'm so glad that Dia isn't here to encourage you people to change your names like she used to every night. This isn't Dead or Vegetable. This is on a subreddit called Irrational Madness. I will go ahead and throw a link if that's what you're looking for. And there you go. Rational Madness. But I hope you have enjoyed this deeply disturbing look at some of what's going on. I'm sorry that life is as intense as it can be. I hope you're celebrating this no bra day as best you can. I want to encourage you all to help Kyle on his PS5 journey. The Discord link is in the description, but I will go out of my way here to provide you with a link in the event that you want to receive notifications for when these streams go down. This is like a middle of the day list, which I don't normally do, but I wanted to, occasionally I want to catch people who are not normally available for the nighttime streams. Plus, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to stream tonight. Didn't stream yesterday night, so this is kind of a makeup stream, but I was in a terrible mood last night, and I'm not going to go ahead and bring that energy to you guys if I can manage it. So here's hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. And that it only gets better with time. UN panel votes 163 to 5 in support of Palestinian statehood, end of occupation. When are they gonna legalize my damn weed? You understand? It would be such a perfect time to legalize weed, to just make everybody like calm down. This has got to be the wildest and craziest conspiracy theory to date. Let's see what it is. Do not use the Zaire vaccine. Deep state and liberals have made it turn us white folks black. Activated by the 5G towers. Are y'all for real? White American complains she is turning black. Bill Gates' German vaccine turns white people black. I'm like mad that I read that. I don't believe that. Nobody believes that. That is fake. YouTube, please. It is just online nonsense. Do not. Wowzers. Look, I was seeing yesterday. I was seeing fucking Rudy Giuliani with his hair dye dripping. That was all over the internet. All over the internet. And if it wasn't gross enough, the dude was wiping it, and then people were like, no, it's like, you gotta wipe better. And then if that wasn't bad enough, the dude wipes it and puts it all in his mouth. Oh my god. Can you get this more video shit out of my face? God. So watch this now. You're gonna let us. Ugh. And then later he blew his nose, and then with the blown nose part he wiped his face again. Oh my god, are people roasting Ellen now? I mean, even more? Ew. We're gonna do something phenomenal. We're gonna recreate a TikTok video. Should have just posted the whole episode. Any video of Ellen is pure cringe. It's fucked up that they coming for Ellen now. Not that I care about Ellen, but at the same time, it's like, man. Yeah, I was watching this shit before like it was fine. Anyway. Jared Rodriguez says, Kyle, are you going to play Age of Calamity? This is the first time I've ever received this question from anyone ever, and I have never heard of Age of Calamity. So allow us to Google it together and see what the fuck you are talking about. Age of Calamity is a Legend of Zelda prequel. Hell no, I'm not interested in no bullshit ass Legend of Zelda crap. I'm a Genshin Impact man, sir. To the point where I would play that right now if I thought it would traumatize you. But I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Meanwhile in India, you just know it's going to end bad. Wait a minute. Is this some kind of bull? That bull's really huffing it. Oh my god, bull, sick of your bullshit. Bull was sick of bullshit. I really want a sandwich now. I gotta wait till like next week. That's when I'm getting paid. Oh my god. Auntie says, me, let's watch some scary Kyle stories. Kyle, Zelda. Yeah, well, I guess when you come into a stream an hour and 27 minutes late, you get what you pay for, huh, Auntie? Does that sound like it makes sense? You know, like I was the one that put it in here, or maybe I was responding to somebody going, hey, are you gonna play this? Fuck me, right? Fuck me for answering a question from somebody in the stream. This is the kind of shit that I get every day, right? You know, you're the late one. Kyle's paying for it. In my face. I should just end the video as soon as I'm done with the stories and not input, you know, have nothing to say, nothing to add. Let that be the end of it. Forgive me, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for answering your questions. It won't happen again. You know what I mean? I should just let one guy talk in the whole fucking stream nonstop about whatever, you know, personal things that they have going on. What was his first comment? No, that wasn't even his first. Is this his first? Hey, remember me? I most certainly do not. You called me a boy a lot. Well, with all of this fucking talking, I'm surprised you weren't banned. If you're somebody I need to remember, then you're probably from way before, you know, this channel's been kicking for fucking 7-8 years. And back in the day, I really did have some young, hot, tight little bitch fucking stream mods that were properly abusing their power, that just wanted to ban any and everybody that came in. So if you got banned and I was calling you boy, why do you think that is? You haven't done much growing with the spam in the chat, mate. And like I said, these messages could have been condensed. Give me a break. Turns out I'm a trans man. That's your first comment in here? Why do you trans people roast yourselves? Don't lead with your fucking identity first, my dude. You can walk into a room and say hello. I'm sick! I'm sick of everyone. And if I vanish for a while, you're gonna fucking understand. It's because I'm tired. A lot of YouTubers talk about how they get burned out. I'm not tired. I can do this shit every day. I've specifically sourced a format that allows me to do this every day without incident. Occasionally I'll need a break because I'm not in the mood. But you know who fucking makes it awful? It's the people. That's what people don't tell you about YouTubing, is that you come face to face with how disappointing and disgusting people are. Expect people to roll up into your chat. 5,000 people to roll up into the fucking streams, and nobody's gonna like it. The people who are gonna comment are gonna be brain damaged, and they're just going to fill you with a sorrow for humanity on a scale that you had hitherto believed impossible. Do you get what I'm saying? So hear me out when I say this. This year sucked, not just for you, but for everyone. Am I unappreciative for the fucking sponsors and the patrons and the people falling over themselves? Tara, I've known for years. She feels the need to come in here and drop money. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't know. My bad for showing y'all a damn thing, huh?